Having a sibling can be a delight. For many people, even a brother or a sister is their first BFF, best friend forever. Unfortunately, not in all families. We're here today in order to discuss about what can go in the way of not having a really connecting and friendly relationship with our siblings. Hi, I'm Vassia. I'm a psychologist, and I'm here in order to discuss about how we can heal and grow from all out of experience. And today we're going to discuss about 5 cases of sibling dynamics and how they can lead to more dissatisfaction in our lives, even loneliness sometimes, and not having friends, but generally how it can lead to trauma. So let's start with the first one. I think the first one I have already created a video on, and it's connected with perfectionism, how perfectionism can be created because of sibling dynamics. And of course, I'm not going to talk only about perfectionism here, but to give you an example, when your sibling needed more attention, it might have been the case that you became the adult too soon. It may have been the case where you overcompensated because, for example, your sibling might have been difficult, so you had to be very easy. Your sibling might have been very loud and demanding attention, so you had to tone down all the attention you might have need, all the needs you might have had. So you see that there's a little bit of a role reversal. You became kind of a parent for the child, for the sibling, instead of just living a carefree childhood, of course expressing your needs, of course being also difficult because that's part of the package as well. But you tend to compensate because you saw how your parents had too much in their plate, and you decided to step up. So this role reversal might have been something that stemmed from the sibling relationship. And of course, you can understand the degree of resentment or the feeling of unfairness that and injustice that we might have cultivated because of this relationship. And also resentment towards our parents, because that was not our role. They should have made space and found resources in order to deal with both children or all children, instead of giving everything to one and the other one chipping in with supporting and helping them in a direct or indirect way. So that's one case. Another one can be is when the children feel that they have to compete for their parents' love. They have to constantly be compared with each other, or sometimes even the parents compare the children one with the other. So that, of course, sustains the rivalry and enables even more competition between the relationship, between the siblings. Another way can be when we are facing neglect and disregard. And I'm going to also refer to a more extreme example in a minute. But what we mean is that when one sibling might receive significantly more attention and care than the others, and this is a pattern of one side we have a lot of attention and the other side we have a lot of neglect. And again, that can create this feeling of invisibility and worthlessness. The extreme example that I want to mention here is in the families where the parents or one parent has narcissistic features in a personality. And what happens is that they tend to make one child behave to one child as the golden child, and to the other child as the scapegoat. So one child is 100% safe from any criticism, from any accusation, from any complaint. They are showered with words of affirmation and praise, while the other child is blamed for all the misery and all the setbacks and all the issues of the family. And of course, that's why I said it's an extreme example, but there's a significantly visible injustice there. And of course, as you can understand, that can potentially lead to deep-seated trauma. Another case can be the case of bullying and abuse. This is where siblings, they tend to fight a lot, verbally, physically, and emotionally mistreat each other. And of course, there's a normal degree of fighting between siblings. Okay, you of course resonate with that. Probably you have fought with your brother or sister and, blamed each other or criticized each other. Okay, there's a normal degree to that. But we're talking about harmful behaviors, constant abuse and bullying. We're talking about this being the rule, not the exception. And that, of course, is not only the issue of the children, because children, but also because the parents never taught them nonviolent communication. They never taught them boundaries. They never taught them respect. They never intervene in order to find another way to resolve the conflict. They never taught them self regulation. So, all these things, of course, we cannot blame children. They come in this world to learn these things. They are not supposed to know them. It's a siblings dynamics, but of course, the parents play a very important role there. So these harmful behaviors, they have profound effects. If someone is the victim and the other one is the perpetrator, then we can see again how they stagnate in these roles, and how their self-worth is being also deeply impacted. Anxiety, depression, or even PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, for some children can stem from that kind of bullying and abuse in the family by their sibling. And the last case that I would like to explain here is a case of enmeshment. So now we're going to the opposite direction, enmeshment and lack of boundaries. This is when siblings do everything together and they're actually instructed and led by the parents to be as one identity instead of two. If we're talking about two people, two siblings, this is where the boundaries are blurred, and the parents, they do the same thing for both. So your brother is doing piano lessons, you do also piano lessons. Your brother is wearing that dress style, you also put on clothes with that dress style. So they treat them as one person, and that's what we call it enmeshment. They just enmess with each other. In that case, you see that they can lack the possibility to create an autonomous identity. They don't feel that they can be different and that they are healthy individual identities. That's the traumatic impact of this dynamic here. So, as a result, what happens is that separation can cause anxiety for them. If we do something differently, oh, that's not okay. Dependency can be another consequence. They tend to reach out to each other for any small or big decisions because they cannot make their own autonomous decisions. So, how to change that? Let's see. If you're now an adult and you realize that you have been through such relationships, sibling relationships, it's important first to start with whether you want to mend these relationships, whether you want to go back there and change that. And of course, whether the other member of this relationship has the same needs. If you want to fix that relationship, but your brother or sister has put that behind and they don't want to reconnect or to work again on the relationship, then unfortunately, that's a wasted time or energy from your side. In that case, you need to focus your time and your energy in processing what was the impact of this relationship and grieving for it, because it's not going to be mended anymore, and it saddens you. It's something that you are now recognizing, and you would love to have a good friend in the face of your brother or sister, but if it's not going to happen, it's a moment of grief for you, realizing how much this hurts and how many years you spent through this hurtful relationship. So if, on the other case, your brother or sister is open, then communication is key here. Having a lot of conversations, nothing will be resolved in one conversation. Having a lot of honest conversations are so essential for healing. Encourage each other to express your feelings, even though it hurts. Active listening without putting the blame on one or the other. Of course, you were children. You didn't know the rules of relationships back then. Of course, you didn't need to fix it back then. So listen to each other, validate each other, and just understand each other so that you can go from this communication to understanding each other, and then to forgive each other, and then to reconnect with each other. In case this is difficult, of course, I would suggest consider involving a therapist who specializes in family dynamics and trauma so that they can provide a safe place for you and for your sibling in order to address these issues. And another thing that can help in order to repair this relationship and rebuild it is start spending some time together and having some shared positive experiences. Maybe start a hobby together, or spend some time, once a week or once a month together, volunteer, or quality time, you know what I mean? So that you can start creating now positive memories. Unfortunately, we cannot change the past. Fortunately, we can change the future. So create new positive memories. How is it for you? How is your relationship with your siblings? Which of these cases resonate with you? It doesn't need to be, as we say, the event leading to the trauma. It's what was registered inside you because of these events. So remember, we're doing the understanding here so that we can do the next step of healing. Let me know if you have questions. And of course, feel free to share your personal experience. And thank you for being here. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Take good care of yourself.